A family friend stepping into a private feud is always risky. But when that friend is Michelin-starred chef and Hell's Kitchen star Gordon Ramsay, and the family is the Beckhams, one sentence can turn into a whole new chapter overnight. Because the moment Ramsay urged Brooklyn Beckham to remember where you came from, during his Being Gordon Ramsay Netflix documentary interview this week, the story stopped feeling like a distant rumor and started feeling like a public pressure point. And Brooklyn's next move yesterday, according to reports, made it look like he heard that message loud and clear. Quick favor before we get into the timeline. If you like these stories, with the messy parts explained in plain English, hit like and drop a comment telling me what you think this really is. A family misunderstanding that can be fixed, or a full separation that's already happening in real time. At the center of this is Brooklyn Beckham, the oldest son of David Beckham and Spice Girls icon Victoria Beckham, and his wife Nicola Peltz Beckham, daughter of billionaire Nelson Peltz. The tension around this family has been swirling for a while, but it doesn't move like a normal celebrity story where one headline blows up and then everyone goes quiet. This one keeps evolving through tiny signals on Instagram and beyond. Who shows up? Who doesn't? Who posts? Who doesn't? Who follows? Who unfollows? It's like watching a fight through reflections instead of seeing it directly. A big turning point, at least publicly, came when Brooklyn posted a statement earlier this year that sounded like someone who's tired of the narrative being written for him. The tone was boundary setting. It leaned into the idea that he wanted peace, privacy, and respect for his marriage, and it pushed back on the usual storyline that he's being controlled. Whether you agree with him or not, that kind of statement does one thing immediately. It forces everyone to pick a side, even if they pretend they aren't. And that's where the Beckhams become different from most famous families. Their name is a brand, especially after the success of the 2023 Netflix Beckham documentary. Their image has been polished for decades, so any crack in that surface becomes a huge deal. Not because it's shocking that families argue, but because this family is used to managing how the world sees them. Once the tension goes public, every angle gets analyzed like it's strategy. Now enter Gordon Ramsay. And this is why his involvement matters. Ramsay isn't just a celebrity voice chiming in for attention. He's been linked to the Beckhams for years as a close family friend, with his wife Tana Ramsay attending Brooklyn's Palm Beach wedding to Nicola in 2022. Not we met once at an event, close. More like in the circle close, the kind of connection that makes people assume he's heard things directly and has opinions formed from real conversations. That's why his words landed differently. When a stranger talks, it's noise. When a friend talks, it feels like the room is talking. Ramsay's message, as reported by The Sun this week during his Being Gordon Ramsay Netflix promotional tour, wasn't delivered like a PR-friendly paragraph. It was blunt, emotional, and pretty old school. He talked about the situation being difficult. He urged Brooklyn to remember where he came from. He emphasized parents won't be around forever. He defended David Beckham, the Inter Miami MLS owner, and Victoria as parents, suggesting they've been there for Brooklyn in hard moments and that people forget what family has done for you when life gets loud. The overall energy was protective of David and Victoria, with a "you'll understand later" tone aimed at Brooklyn. That kind of message is guaranteed to split an audience in half. One group hears it and thinks it's genuine guidance from an older family friend who wants Brooklyn to step back, breathe, and come home emotionally. They hear care in it. They hear someone trying to prevent regret. The other group hears it and thinks, why are you saying this out loud? If the tension is already sensitive, public commentary feels like pressure, not support. It can read like the family's wider circle is piling on a younger person and trying to push him into a corner. And in this story, corners are everything. Because once someone feels cornered, even soft words can feel like a shove. After Ramsay's comments hit headlines this week, fans noticed Brooklyn no longer followed Gordon Ramsay on Instagram yesterday. No long statement attached, no public fight. Just a quiet change that, in modern celebrity language, gets treated like a response. It's the cleanest way to say, I'm not taking that heat, without giving the internet a quote to replay. And if you think Instagram unfollows are nothing, look at how fast this became its own headline. People didn't just notice it, they treated it like a clapback. Screenshots, reaction videos, debates, and suddenly Ramsay wasn't a side character anymore. He was part of the storyline. What makes that unfollow so loud is what it implies. It suggests Brooklyn didn't hear Ramsay's comments as concern. He heard them as taking sides. He heard them as team parents, whether Ramsay meant it that way or not. And that tells you something about where Brooklyn's head might be right now. When you're in a family conflict, you stop hearing tone and start hearing alignment. Even a neutral sentence can sound like betrayal if you're already wounded. There's another layer that makes this sting more than the average family friend comment. Brooklyn has spent years trying to build his identity as more than a famous last name. Different projects, different lanes, a very public attempt to be seen as his own person. Gordon Ramsay is a giant in the culinary world Brooklyn has flirted with, especially around cooking and lifestyle content. So when Ramsay says, "Remember where you came from," it doesn't only sound like family advice. It also sounds like a reminder that the platform matters, the name matters, the network matters. That can hit like a slap, even if it's dressed as wisdom. Now zoom out. What is this feud actually about? Here's the honest answer. Most of the details are filtered through reports, insiders, and interpretation. But the themes are consistent. Tension around Nicola Peltz Beckham and her billionaire father, Nelson Peltz's family. Tension tracing back to Palm Beach wedding era issues that never fully healed, reportedly involving conflicts with Mark Anthony and other wedding details. A boundaries versus control clash. Brooklyn's side being framed as independence and protection of the marriage. The Beckham side being framed as heartbreak, frustration, and feeling pushed away. If you've ever watched a family argument drag on for months, you already know what happens next. Each side collects evidence. Each side becomes sure they're the one being wronged. And once that happens, reconciliation stops being about love and becomes about pride. That's why Ramsay's involvement is so interesting. If he truly wanted peace, the public route is a strange choice because public advice can harden people. It creates a new problem. Now whoever backs down looks like they were pressured. Nobody wants to look pressured. So Ramsay may have been trying to help, but the method might have backfired. And there's one detail people keep skipping. Ramsay didn't only praise David and Victoria. He also spoke warmly about Brooklyn and other parts of the Being Gordon Ramsay coverage, making it sound like he still cares about him and still sees him as a good person. That makes Brooklyn's reported Instagram unfollow even more loaded because it suggests Brooklyn isn't separating care from public pressure. He's treating it as one thing. Speak publicly, you're out. If that's the rule Brooklyn is operating by, it sets up what happens next. Because Ramsay won't be the last person connected to the family who speaks, even indirectly. In high-profile feuds, it always spreads. Someone says a little too much at a dinner. Someone gives a quote to a reporter. Someone posts something on Instagram that feels pointed. The circle becomes part of the conflict, whether they want to be or not. Another emotional thread that keeps fueling this story is the siblings. Romeo Beckham, Cruz Beckham, Harper Beckham. When parents and the oldest child are in tension, the siblings are often the ones trapped in the middle. They're not the headline, but they feel the impact. And public attention makes it worse because now every sibling Instagram post gets turned into evidence. Around Valentine's week, reports floated that Harper posted affectionate words about her brothers on Instagram, calling them the best big brothers and showing love publicly. People instantly framed it as an olive branch, a peace signal, a soft attempt to keep the door open. Whether that's true or not, it shows how hungry the public is for signs of warmth. The moment someone posts something loving, people rush to interpret it like it's a coded message. At the same time, Brooklyn's public energy on Instagram has been strongly centered on Nicola. That's not surprising. When someone feels misunderstood, they lean into the one place they feel safe. Fans read that as devotion. Critics read it as isolation. Either way, it keeps the conversation going because it's visible. Visibility is the fuel here. A lot of people miss that both sides are stuck in impossible positions. If Brooklyn says nothing, people claim he's being managed or hiding. If he speaks, people say he's attacking his family. If David Beckham and Victoria say nothing, people say they're cold. If they show emotion, people call it manipulation. If they show strength, people call it pride. Nobody can move without being judged. That's why this feud keeps living in micro moves on Instagram instead of big statements. That's also why the unfollow matters more than it should. It's not just social media housekeeping. It becomes a symbol, a line, this is where we are now moment. So where does this go next? There are two routes these stories usually take. One is the quiet repair, a private meeting, a family event attended, a reunion that only leaks later through a blurry Instagram photo, a restored follow, a subtle happy birthday comment. The kind of repair that happens off camera and gets discovered afterward. The other route is the slow freeze. No dramatic announcement, no explosive quote, just distance that becomes normal, separate lives, separate holidays, separate friendships. The public eventually gets bored, but the family doesn't reset. It just becomes the new reality. Gordon Ramsay's comments on being Gordon Ramsay suggest people in the circle still believe the first route is possible, or at least they think it should happen before things become permanent. That's why the parents won't be around forever angle hits. It's not about winning today's argument. It's about future regret. That message is powerful, but it can also be painful because it implies you're the one who will be sorry later. Not everyone responds well to that, especially when they already feel judged. And that's why Brooklyn's reported response, the Instagram unfollow, reads like a refusal to be lectured in public. It looks like, I don't want advice through the press. I don't want pressure packaged as care. If you want to talk to me privately. Whether that's exactly what he meant, nobody can know, but it fits the pattern of someone trying to protect their boundaries. Here's why people can't stop watching. It's not one massive scandal, it's a chain of small signals. A quote from being Gordon Ramsay that lands, an Instagram follow that disappears, a sibling post that gets interpreted, a lack of family photos together on Instagram. And because the signals are small, people feel like they're catching clues. It makes the audience feel involved, like they're solving something in real time. But the truth is, the only people who know the full story are the people inside the room. Everyone else is reading shadows and guessing what they mean. So, I want to know what you think. Did Gordon Ramsay cross a line by speaking publicly during his Being Gordon Ramsay Netflix interview? Or was he genuinely trying to help? If you made it to the end, like the video, comment your take, and subscribe, because the next chapter won't come from a press release. It'll come from the next tiny move that the internet catches in 5 seconds.